Well, yeah, for those of you who don't know Jon, he's a very fine singer-songwriter. Tonight, for me, he's forgetting about singing and just playing the guitar. He is a local recording artist and has some really nice CDs out, if you ever want to look for them. So I thank him for helping out with this. I do have little cards with websites on them, if you want them. And you may notice I've got a pile of paper here. This is because I've seen people, and I know they take the book and they put the little tabs and they flip back and forth and find the right things. I would find that totally confusing. And I'm used to doing poetry with little pieces of paper, so I printed out what I need to read. So I hope you don't mind that lapse of tradition. So what we're going to do here is a few scenes from the book. If it gets too long or boring, just throw things at me or yell and I'll stop. So we'll go ahead. This is just introducing the woman who is the wife of the evil professor in the book. Her daughter has apparently, they're not sure, but they got a note, been kidnapped, and the private detective has come to her house to meet her. The woman who came to the door had achieved exactly the look of a successful professor's wife. The earth tones of her expensive woolen skirt and pullover complemented her beauty in a quiet way. Her shoulder-length hair, which must once have been deep red, now was softened by streaks of gray. Payge touched her own red hair. Lately she had been finding a lot of gray hairs in her comb. Mrs. Markham asked Payge to please come in. She led Payge down the hall to the sitting room, where she offered her a seat and a cup of tea. Payge accepted. While Mrs. Markham was in the kitchen, Payge checked the room with her practiced eye. The exterior hadn't prepared her for what she would see inside. An old monument of hardwood and stone near Riverside Drive, the house was typical for university faculty. What she had seen in the hall and in this room was not. There was money here, she thought, more probably than a professor, even a full professor, could afford. She wondered if Dr. Markham had some family money. That would certainly explain the paintings and the antique oriental furnishings and art. One piece especially stood out among the rest. It was not elaborate or elegant in the way many were in that room, but had an unadorned elegance about it. It was, at first she noticed... I'm doing that bad. At first she had not even noticed it, tucked away as it was between the fireplace and a great oriental chest. The statue of a man riding a horse had looked to be carved of some dark wood. Only when she walked across the room and knelt down to see it closer did Payge realize it was bronze, which had gone unpolished for many years. "It's a beautiful piece, isn't it?" Payge turned with a start. Mrs. Markham was standing in the doorway holding a lacquer tray with a small teapot and 2 cups on it. "Yes," said Payge, as she stood up. As Payge walked back to her chair, Mrs. Markham entered the room and set the tray on a table. "Frank brought it back from the dig in Tibet. It's not really worth much, but I find it comforting to have around. Like my own personal knight, my own protector." She poured the tea, something green and Chinese, and handed Payge a cup. "Please, have a seat." They both sat. "It does look like a knight," Payge observed. "Is it from those times, you know, medieval?" "Probably 12th century, but we can't be sure. We've never shown it to a real expert. Frank calls it his puzzle, says he likes it that way. Personally, I don't know why he likes to hide it away in that corner. Polished up, it would be a beautiful piece." Mrs. Markham bit her lower lip slowly. While making small talk, she was clearly agitated, fidgeting in her chair, as she worked up the nerve to broach a subject that terrified her. Payge decided to help her out. "About your daughter, Susan," the mother said, seeming to speak from somewhere far away. "Yes, we must talk about Susan."